Hello everyone, this is Darkside, and I wanted to make a video today on top bleed champs. People that I think are worth either 515 in 4-star or 455 R4 in 5-star. And but before I do that, let me clear out my help stash here. And as I've always said, I've been really big on that. And so let's take a look. So I have most champs, not all of them, but I got most. Whoops. All right. So, number 1, Gwenpool. All right, we know she's good. Hard to get. Pretty funny. She wears tights and she's pink. So, honestly, when this champ came out, I thought she was a joke. Like, I didn't understand. I didn't get it. Well, not really. Her attacks: 3% chance to stun per bleed. Lasts not even a second, but that's okay. 30% chance to inflict bleed. And direct damage over 6 seconds. So this is basically all her information. But she, guys, is one of my newest Star 4 champs. And she's great. I mean, she gets into these combos when she's like slicing you up. I mean, you know, she's a Ginsu 2000. I mean, she just like, she's got these katana blades and she's like, you know, just chopping it up, chopping you up. So she's cool. She's cool. All right. Another one at the top, bleed champs, would be obvious, Mr. Archangel. And along with his bleed, he also stops any kind of regen as long as it's non-robotic. So, neurotoxins. Each time Archangel triggers a bleed effects on an opponent with active poison effect that causes that they are combined, converted into neurotoxin charge. Lasts 15 seconds. Neurotoxins are a passive effect and therefore do not count as either a debuff or a poison. So this guy here is one killing machine with his ability and his metal-like feathers. Yeah, I know, sounds kind of odd. And one of my personal favorites is Blade. Blade is what it seems like. He's one big blade, like a blade. I mean, that's his job. For every stack of bleed on the opponent generates 7 bars of power per second. This guy here, especially with his special 2, will slice and dice you quick. I mean, I have killed champs on map 6, 18 to 20 hits, sometimes less, you know, and mine's only ranked 61, so yeah, he is definitely, I mean, he by far right now would be one of the top, not just for bleed, but for other, you know, things that he does. He shrugs off, like debuffs and stuff. But Gwenpool and Archangel also create massive amounts of bleed. So, who else we got tonight? We have, one of my favorites here. He was actually R4 before I ranked him down. This guy here, guys, if you have him duped or whatever, he does massive damage and bleed. Look at that. Critical, lacerates opponents with 80% chance, inflicts bleed over 4 seconds, and they stack too. That is probably the 4th best bleed champ that I would say. I mean, the reason Archangel would be like a number 3 is because of his poison, then the poison turns to neurotoxin, and then, he starts to bleed. So, another one you might not think of as like a bleed champ, I think would be like a Winter Soldier. His special 1 and his special 2s, yeah, does a really, really good job. Armor piercing. Look at that one. His specials. Hollow point. Any bleed effect triggered during the attack has its duration increases by 50%. This guy here is awesome. He's got ultimate power drain. It's not all the time, but when you need it, it'll come out. I mean, it just, there's a good chance of it. I mean, even his special 2 creates massive amounts of bleed. And if you've never thought of him as like a bleed kind of champ, he does a really, really good job. Another one, all-time classic, Wolverine. Bleed. This guy here back in the day used to have his regen was a lot better than it is now. Now it does it like from time to time, but before he would be in the old format. I'm talking like 2 years ago. He would be an Alliance War boss because his regen plus like the 300% health and all that stuff that gives all the bosses. He was unstoppable. I mean, he did really, really well. So, but you could tell from there, critical hits, opponents, 80% chance, inflicts bleed over 5 seconds. That guy there is just a monster. I'm glad that he lives for like almost ever. Next person on our list would be Elektra. We all know her special 1 and 2 do some really good amounts of bleed. One thing I actually learned today is opponents passively suffer 85% reduced defensive ability accuracy as long as they are under a debuff effect, which means that if you ever wondered why she is hard to parry sometimes, well, that's why. She also has armor break. She does bleed. Yeah, she's just a great champ overall. And the best part about her is when you get her down, if you're using Elektra and the opponent's like, 20%, 30%, like it seems like the assassin, her special ability which is called No Loose Ends, right there below 25%, she gains. Mine's only 65, but 436 increases critical damage. So basically, if you're under 25%, you're dead. It's over. Just put the coffin in you. It's over. Game over. Punisher does a good bleed, especially over his special 1, special 2. What I like about him is he's actually very tough, and he inflicts a lot of pain. Right there, attacking an opponent that is bleeding has a 20% chance to trigger additional bleed, dealing direct damage over 2.5 seconds. And look at his special 1 and 2. I mean, he does a good amount of damage. Nothing like Blade, nothing like Gwenpool, nothing like Archangel, nothing like Black Panther, but still, these are the bleed champs that you will need on your roster going forward. What I'm going to do every day is point out what champs you are going to want and need on your roster that will help you with that if you have them and you don't realize how good they are. This one here, Gully, she's awesome. She does great amounts of bleed. She has awesome specials. She is just a great champ overall. So if you don't have any other options, rank her up. Definitely. And another one is probably, top list. Probably like number 5 would be X23. X23 does multiple stacks of bleed. She has a limit. See right there. Anytime the opponent has 3 or more stacks, or Wolverine has 3 or more cruelty stacks, her assassin training kicks in, which raises her critical damage. So, and right there, critical hits. Critical hits lacerate opponents with 80% chance of inflicting bleed over 5 seconds. That is awesome, guys. So I like to say Blade's number 1, Gwenpool's number 2, Archangel's number 3 because of the neurotoxins, poisons, and bleeds. Black Panther's 4. I would like to say X23 would be my number 5 top bleed champ that you could have. And I'm just going down my roster. This guy here is one of my favorites. I don't have him 5-star yet. When he is duped, his special one right there, 100% chance to inflict bleed over 5 seconds. Plus, it he depletes up to 40% of the target's max power. So he is a nice power control champ. And the power control champs I'll talk about tomorrow. But today I wanted to talk about the bleed people. Any of these bleed guys, this guy would be number 6. This guy is great, plays fun. I like the power drain, which is essential with a lot of champs nowadays. But he is awesome, so if you got him, rank him up. Civil War Black Panther. Now, he does some bleed. What I like about him is his special abilities. He shrugs off heavy attacks. He's kind of like a rogue or like a blade. Like rogue, you could parry her, she'll shrug it off, boom, she'll get right back into it. But this Black Panther does not do as much damage as far as bleed compared to the original Black Panther. But he does do a good amount of bleed, just not as well as the original Black Panther, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, guys. Moonlight does a little bit of bleed. So does Joe Fixit, but I don't think anyone cares about him. just being honest. If you got Deadpool, if you got Venom Pool, if you got X-Force, Deadpool, anytime they do their special 2, they're going to do some bleed. Not a lot. It's not massive. It's not huge. Agent Venom. Agent Venom, I got to say, is probably my 7th favorite champ. He shrugs a lot of the debuffs. He has his special one that's easily avoidable. But you're talking about 65% chance to inflict bleed over 4 seconds. I like him. I actually wish I would pick him up as a 4-star. I like him a lot. The Hood, as we know, his special 2, when he turns invisible, he does his like gun action. That creates a little bit of bleed. And I think, guys, that is it for the actual bleed champs. So, just to recap. Blade obviously is number 1. He creates massive bleeds with his blade and his Uzi, which is really cool. And Gwenpool. Gwenpool does does the bleeds, does stuns, which you could keep multiple, hits, do her specials. We got Archangel at number 3 with the bleeds, the poison, and then the poison turns into neurotoxins. Number 4 is the Mr. Black Panther. And yeah, if you guys got him and you don't have anyone else to rank up as a 5-star to R4, definitely. That guy there's a winner. Number 5, X23. If that is somebody that you have as a 4 or 5-star, I have plenty of friends that have a R4 X23. She has regen. She inflicts bleed from her specials just by hitting you. She stacks bleeds, and her special 1 and 2 does the bleed, so she does a great job. Number 6 would be like Hawkeye with his special 1, and he does a good amount of bleed, not a whole lot, but he does a good amount of bleed. The other one was Guillotine, or people will call her Gully. So her with her big massive sword does great bleeds, also has good specials, and also is really effective for champs that are doing any kind of regeneration, like if you're doing on Realm of Legends and you're playing Wolverine, or if you're doing 5.4.6 and trying to beat Ultron, that reverses the effect of the regen and kills that person instantaneously, or depending on what time you hit it, because you got to hit it right. I know that she does really well with X23 on Labyrinth of Legends. That's like one of the last paths, and she has like almost infinite bleed. So one SP2 from her X23 is done. She's toast. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you have any questions or have any concerns or advice, please let me know in the comments below. Oh, and one of my other last favorites, was Winter Soldier with a special 1 and 2. If you're new to the channel and you like the content that you're listening to, please hit the like and subscribe button. This is something that I am new to YouTube. I had a really nice comment earlier. Someone commented to me like, "Hey man, why isn't your channel blowing up? It's so informative. It's very, very good." And I said, well, honestly, I've only been doing it for 2 weeks. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. My channel is actually growing really quick, and I like it because I've been playing this game for almost 3 years, so I know what I'm doing, and I'm in no rush, So anyways, guys, hope you have a good night. This is Darkside signing out. I'll talk to you in the next video, and if you haven't seen my last video, check it out, and you guys have a good night.